Baltimore Mayor
Oh hell yeah.
Brandon Scott has now reduced his city's homicide rate by 62%. It's the lowest it's been since 1978. Thoughts, fellas? I know we like to kind of critique and be critical. Yeah. Any thoughts, feedback, commentary,
Yeah, I love it,
congratulations?
man. He been doing this thing. I've had.
And he's young too. Let me
Yeah,
see how.
he's around our ages, and he doing big thing. I met him a few times. CIAA, he real personal
Okay.
dude. But if he was doing bad, oh my God, they'd be talking about this dude, or he'd be
Mhm,
gone really, but long, too quick to be talking about. But
mhm,
he's doing good things there, and if some improvement is better than nothing. But
mhm.
people should definitely pay him attention. I hope he stay protected out there in Baltimore, but he is one that can actually speak out, show the stats, versus especially what Trump is doing in DC right now. It's like with the mayors and basically just trying to take control of everything and show that their cities are out of control. He's showing that now. Like I've been reducing shit out here.
Mhm.
Young black dude at that. So I
And yeah,
respect him.
and he took over like Baltimore. Even to this day, it's still not no walk in the park. But when he took it over, it was
He ain't
peaking
turned it.
at it wasn't
Now,
it wasn't quite the wire still, but it wasn't too far off.
Do you know how long
but
he
but
been
but but
mayor?
I could look it up, but I think it's like say it again, Johnny.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think
I
it's
think
like a year.
at least like 3-4 years.
Oh, it's been
Yeah, because
open
I feel like
longer.
he's been there at least for a couple years at this
Yeah,
Okay.
point, which
Okay.
which
yeah.
Pre,
which I think is
pre
also
CIAA.
positive because it's like you can because this type of work doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's it's gradual. It's going to take some time. So the fact that he's been there for a little bit of time and then starting to see these types of
Yeah, this is
results,
fifth year.
so that
Oh, okay.
that's fire because when you look at what Baltimore was, it's a couple things I want to mention about Baltimore, and they had that joint on HBO. It was a crazy little mini series about the it was called We Own This City. It was about like this corrupt cops who were
Mhm.
just basically like stealing from local drug dealers, just doing corrupt cop shit behind
Mhm.
the scenes. And then the Freddie Gray situation,
Yeah.
like there was just a string of years where Baltimore and their city council, all that stuff was just notoriously corrupt.
Oh yeah, they
It
do.
was just like it was ugly in the city. And the fact that this young man has stepped in and starting to see these results, like you can't help but applaud stuff like that, in my opinion, especially in a historically black city like Baltimore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta love to see that.
Oh yeah, and I think it just showed that it's possible, and like using one of like one of us, like I think it shows the power of like the relatability, building rapport, and like having a knowledge of like the people that you're trying to impact. I think I think he's done a good job of being a young man, and I think he has things that could be probably replicated in other cities, but people just have to pay attention to it.
Gotcha. Um, do y'all want to take a quick detour to Bull City really quickly? As we speak about mayors. I'll play a little bit of this. I guess it's only fit. Uh, and this would be well. I'll play just a little bit, and then we can talk about it. I think we mentioned it a little bit on last show, but
For bullying the mayor of Durham because the city of Durham doesn't want black people to live here anymore. And he responded in my DM and basically made a bunch of excuses as to why he doesn't do a good job. And then he gave me his phone number, told me to call him. I called him. He did not answer. Now, I'm a grown man. He is not my girlfriend. I don't care if he answers the phone, but I'm finna do some complaining, especially because in his message to me, he said, if I knew the full story, I would probably feel differently. Sir, you don't know who the fuck you talking to. I'm mad because you came out your crusty lips to complain about the kids in Durham, but you won't even send them to school. Last year, the bus drivers went on a mass exodus. They had a whole strike because the superintendent promised them money that they were just not going to give them. Now, the bus drivers are running like triple routes, and students are late to school every single day. Meanwhile, the superintendent who fucked everything up got paid $297,000 in severance when he resigned. Mind you, the bus driver strike happened the same year as the garbage man strike. Why is everyone going on strike? Y'all have no respect for the people who work for you. Now, Durham Public Housing Authority is planning on tearing down MacDougal Terrace, and I have heard nothing about them replacing it with any new affordable housing. And the only conclusion I can come to is that they want black people to move out because y'all been gentrifying the city for the last 10 years. Y'all want white people from New York to replace the black community that has been here for over a century.
Part because DHA was only able to collect 66% of the rent it was up.
But nonetheless, that's enough. Fellas, I'll throw it to G first. Our resident Bull City. I don't know if you're are you still a resident?
Of course.
Okay,
Oh,
I
yep.
remember using Raleigh.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
The reality is it's a lot to unpack here because the superintendent situation is its own situation outside of what's going on in the mayor's office. Like that superintendent was in place well before this current mayor was elected, and he had a terrible track record, hence why like his exit was ugly. Like it was terrible as it relates to how the superintendent was running the school system. So that's like a separate conversation in my opinion.
And how long has he been mayor? Is it since 2022?
Last year he got, I think, was it?
Is it last year?
It wasn't last year. It was the year before that. But because I think mayors are 2-year terms, so I think he's coming up for re-election here soon. So the thing about the mayor of Durham, like he talking about the kids in school, it's like there's narrative and then there's truth. Like the thing about the Durham mayor is that he actually has sweat equity in Durham public schools, being a teacher, being a principal, working his way up through the system, and then ultimately leaving to pursue some other things. But he's got real sweat equity in the school system, working with kids and doing the extracurriculars, going door to door, raising money for programs in what are not considered the best of neighborhoods in Durham. Okay,
so he was a band director at some point,
and he was the band director at Southern. So it's like, as a local, I have way more respect for that type of mayor than like what this narrative they're seemingly trying to create because of how something was taken out of context at a local town hall meeting. He didn't go out of his,
what are you referring to right there?
So this whole thing about him using the YN term is getting overblown. And in part, like is it mismanaged on his part? Sure, you could make that argument, but it's being overblown. Somebody in the crowd asked the question and used the term YN while they were talking to the mayor. The mayor mirrored what the language that was being said and used it back in answering the question. He didn't go out of his way to like point at YNs or do anything like that.